Hello, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good night. Depends on where are you. Um, Let me just turn the volume down a little bit. Can you hear me? Please, can you comment if you hear me? Okay, yeah, I see you. You hear me. Okay, great. Let me just turn the music down. Okay, okay. Good morning. Where are you from, guys? You're from U.S., India. I don't know what time it is in India right now, and I think in US it's quite late. Um, okay, so let's start. Actually, this stream will be recorded and saved, so there's no problem if you're late. You can check 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 it check it later. India 9:31. Okay, so good morning. Um, okay, so are you working? Okay, great. School crusher for life. Well, I've seen you in some streams, so you're constant. That's great. Um, okay, let me introduce myself a little bit and introduce you what are we going to do today. So, my name is Nofal. I've been doing streams for a while, and today we're going to do introduction to SQL. That stands for structured query language. It's used for, let's say, it's like a programming language for databases where you can send commands to databases management system to retrieve data, insert data, modify data from databases, and make some queries to get some data and just use it. And it will consist in two streams. Today there's another one. It's the second part, and it will be a little bit more advanced. And this one right now, I think it's at 7 p.m. in Spain, so it will be in around 13 hours. So um, take it into account if you want to be in the second one. And today we're going to do some setup, database setup, and yeah, just create a database, some tables, try to insert data, get data, see some techniques to make this process more optimal. And so let's say you've never touched SQL, so it will be a great start point. Okay, let me share you my screen, and I'll keep I think this one. Okay, so as I said before, don't take into account this. It's just an example. Okay, so this will be okay. Can you see the? Can you read it? Well, okay. If you can see it, just comment and I'll make it bigger. Okay, so basically, as you can see, well, one of my well, co-streamers yesterday, well, called Alberto, yesterday did a stream about introduction to databases, and there, if you check it out, you can find some great explanation on how the databases work and different type of databases. Well, I will make a quick introduction. So if you didn't see the history, but basically he was talking about all these different databases, relational, non-relational, SQLite, the difference between them, and all that stuff. So can you zoom in a touch or two? Yeah, great. Hey, good morning from what is that? That's Can you specify the country? Okay, so can you see it right now? School crusher. Um, where's this flag from? Mm, kind of confused. I thought it was Portugal for the colors. Okay, that's good. Great. So, as I was saying, Alberto did a great stream yesterday about all these different databases. Oh, okay, Bangladesh. Okay. Sorry, I didn't know that. Um, Great. Welcome. Um, Hope you learned something today. So, as I was saying, Alberto did a stream yesterday about all these different type of uh, databases. Let me check. MLH. Okay. Okay. It was working. Okay, it was this one. Okay, so take a look at it. You can see. Um, well, he's making some setup here too. And mute. Okay. So if you check his stream and you know nothing about databases and how they work, that will be great. This will be more focused on SQL, the well, let's say the programming language to get to interact with databases. Hey, hope I'm not late. You're not late. No one is late. So this stream will be recorded, as you know. Well, if you know, and it will be posted on Twitch. So whenever um, um, you're lost or something, you can just check it later. So yeah, I was explaining basically that yesterday Alberto, my co-streamer, did a great job explaining all different types of databases. And if you're interested more in detail, like how the databases are structured, that will be a great stream. This one will be more focused on SQL and how to use this language to interact with databases management systems. And yeah, basically, there's just a quick summary of of, of how databases work. Basically, let's say there's two kind of well, there's a lot of kind of, but the most important ones are two: relational and non-relational. Let's say relational databases are more like structured databases with tables, relation between them. Let's say, for example, you have okay. Let's see. Let's say you have. If I can create. Okay. Okay. Let's say you have a shop, online shop, and e-commerce, and you sell. I don't know. Let's say you sell just stuff and clothes. So you have relational databases. You will use a relational one because if you use like non-relational, let's say MongoDB is just some kind of database where you just put data and you get data from. Uh, Sometimes they call it documents. For example, in MongoDB, they call it documents. Basically, the document is just a piece of information with, let's say, a JSON with different keys and IDs and values, and you just pop that on the database and you just store that. So that's a non-relational database. It has nothing to do uh, every what they call it dictionaries, and then there's the documents on the dictionaries. So they have nothing to do with one another. You can insert the database and get it, but you can not find a relationship. But relational databases are something different, more structured, more uniform. They have let's say they have indexes, they have their values, they type values, all that stuff. So let's say, for example, you have an e-commerce and you have a big database with users, products, devices. Let's say you just saving the device type of the user who's logging, because um, some websites or a lot of websites save the device information. Let's say, for example, for for performance um, reasons, because let's say, for example, a person in India, or let's say in Morocco, where I'm from. um, for example, in Morocco, I don't know India, but in Morocco they don't have um, fiber. Okay, they have ADSL. I don't know what it's called. Well, they have 2 megabyte internet connection. So that's not the same as having a gigabyte in Europe, for example, or United States, or Asia, or well, Asia depends on where. I have some friends from India, for example, and they say, okay, the connection is not the same. So what they do, they save the device type, and depending on the region, the region and the device type you have, the performance is different and the application is different, because it doesn't make sense. So there's some moral issues with that, because a lot of tech companies, well, people, it's not totally moral, because you're not offering the same service and the same product to all the people. But you I think they do it just, for example, let's say you have an app with 1,000 UI interface things. um okay, I thought it was a question. um let's say you have like 1,000 interface buttons and a great app, and you just want to run it in, I don't know, in the middle of nowhere, and it takes like 3 hours to load. So that's why. So let's say you have a database with the user device information, where they are, how, let's say, the connection works there, and you want to offer a version of the app. So this username, okay, let's say users, okay, device, okay, just okay. So have the ID, username, device, created that, and this has a relation, because you have a database with let's say different tables, the orders of the e-commerce, the e-commerce, you have the users, and you have the stock, for example, or whatever. So you're just pointing to a table or another. So let's say you have an order, and you want to put this, let's say this is products, okay? These products with the ID of the product, the title, the body, the I don't know, let's say the release date, the stock, and all that stuff. And this user buys this product. You cannot put all this information again here, because you'll be duplicating data. So you can have, okay, orders, okay, orders, user ID. Well, let's say user ID, user device, user blah blah blah, user da da da, and here you can have like 3 times all the information, like 25,000 times. So that's why primary keys are used. Okay, so for example, this, let's say it's products. In this case, it's boss, but well, it works the same with followers, posts, and all that stuff. But let's say it's products, and you have all this product information. Okay, the ID, the title, the body, and when a user makes an order, let's say this is orders, it makes an order. It will just keep the primary key, as you can see here. It will just take the primary key of of the product, and we'll save it. Okay, we'll say product 3, let's say, okay, or 3,000, and that will, what does, it references to this primary key. It will not be duplicated, because it's a primary key and it will always be unique. So you're just referencing from a table to another. Okay, so that's the main difference with relational databases and non-relational. So in this example, as you can see, there's users, followers, and posts. If you want to create, like, I don't know, let's say a social media platform or an application, if you have any question, just ask. Okay, don't be shy. If you have any question, just pop it in the comment section, and I will get into it. Okay, so let's say you want to build a social platform. In this case, there's three simple tables: users, followers, well, follows, and posts. Okay, here you have all the followers. And let's call it followers. Okay. Can find table, no. No. Users. Okay. Just leave it like this. Okay, this is just an example. Okay. Later, we'll be doing some tables. Okay, so let's say you have users for the social media platform. You have posts like Facebook posts and follows. Okay, so you have follows. You'll have just just three fields instead of having like 3,000 fields, like user followed, user following, user ID followed, user ID following. It just takes two. The following user ID, it will be just the primary key of the ID of the user, and follow the user ID. So that what it will just take you an integer like 3, 4, 25, user 323. Okay, so that's, as you can see, that's not the same that as getting all these data in. And the same with the posts. Okay, so you have in a post with a unique ID, the title, the body, status, create, and you have, as you can see here, there's this relation here, integer. So the user ID will be the primary key of the user. Basically, a primary key is just a unique key that you assign to each value of a table. So let's say you have a table with 3,000 users. You'll have the primary key that will be the ID of the user. That's usually it's auto it's default set, and it will be auto incremental, like start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, blah, blah, blah. Or you can set it manually if you have a pattern. Okay, let's say p slash underscore ID. Okay, so you put p underscore blah blah blah, and actually that will take verification to see if that actually exists in the database. Because if you make it in auto incremental, it will just keep adding, and that's all. Okay, so here, let me just move this. Okay. Let me keep here the comments. Okay. So there's some basic types we will learn today. Some different commands, let's call it, and that will be creating a database, because that's the most important thing. Create a database, create some tables, insert some values in the tables, select for making to search stuff. Let's say, okay, just if we wanna, okay, let me check. I think I have a database here. I can show you. Okay. Has some personal information from some users. So Okay, no, that's not an option. Um, okay, so basically, that's how. Hope you understood a little bit the structure and how's the relation made. Here you can just add a lot of tables. Okay, for example, for social media, let's say website or platform. Juan P. Flores. This is by far one of my favorite tools for designing databases. Okay, so this tool is called. I'll leave it in the link if you want to, just check it later. If you just wanna start playing with it. I've used it not too many times, but yeah, it looks fine. Hi Juan P. Flores. I assume you're Spanish or from Latam. Um, well, by the name, because it's a Spanish name. Well, okay. Buenas. Espero que lo disfrutes. I'm from Spain. So, um, great. Okay, so let's get started. First of all, you'll need to install MySQL. If you um, if you saw the stream of uh, my co-streamer yesterday, you'll be full. But if you're not, you can download MySQL. Okay, first of all, download MySQL, and then if you want to try some stuff with okay, okay. So you go here, if, just like here, in MySQL, that should be okay. You can try it for free. No, it's not this one. Community server. Okay. Okay. So you can just come here and download the version you have. Let's say you have Mac with ARM, or you have Windows. Okay, so you just download this, install it, and that's it. If you want to for the management, you can use different tools. Okay, there's MySQL Workbench. There's MySQL Workbench. It's well, it's kind of hard to play with it if you're a beginner, but it works fine. The, there's another one called the Beaver. Okay, in this case, just feel free because you the connection will be the same using the Beaver or there's okay the Beaver or using MySQL Workbench or whatever. Personally, in this case, I will be using Data Studio. Okay, it's this one. It's Data Studio after. Okay, it's this one. I'll be using this one. Okay, not this. Okay, let's see if I can images. Okay, I'll be using this one because I think it's more intuitive and it will look familiar to you because it looks like Visual Studio Code if you use Visual Studio Code. And I think it will be familiar to play with and execute some queries. So I'll be using this one. But feel free, you can just find MySQL Workbench alternative. Okay, so you can find the Beaver, this one, Heavy SQL. DB Forge Studio, PHP MyAdmin. I think this will be the popular one because I remember when I started coding, um, I was using this one with PHP to make some crocky websites. But yeah, probably you heard about PHP MyAdmin. Data grip. This one is great. Not to say for me the best one, but there's uh, a drawback, and it's a paid version. You have 30 days free. Yeah, the legendary PHP Megaman. Yeah, this is like if you're new into programming or let's say tech, you're lucky because in 2017 or I don't know, I think 2014 in my case, it was a mess to learn anything. Okay, there's like four video tutorials, and a lot of them were in English from Indians. So thank you so much, people from India. You made some great developers, and some of them were from Latam, uh, um, South America, Latin America, and Mexicans and Indians. That's my childhood, and it was great. And it was PHP, full PHP, PHP MyAdmin. It was okay. HTML, CSS. It was not Python, SQL, MongoDB. Not in that time, but yeah, great. Can you get for free with the student developer pack? I think so. I've never tried the student pack. Uh, but I think so. You can try that one. But let's see the pricing because JetBrains is kind of okay. Data Grip is okay. It's 2,030 euros a month. Say that in Indian. Well, I would say in India maybe it's cheaper because some okay, so 2030. Okay, that's 20 nearly 21,000 rupees. I don't know if that's a lot, but maybe in India the rates are different, for example, or Latam. But yeah, in Spain, where I'm from, it costs 230 a year. If you're going to use it a lot, it makes sense to get it. Okay, so because it saves you a lot of time, a lot of headaches. But if you just sorry, if you're just a beginner and you just want to learn or something, there's a ton of tools that you can use and you can use and not pay like 230 euros a year. It's for a student. It's not that cheap. But if you make a living of it, just go straight because it's great for individual. Oh, okay. So this is for organizations. Oh, okay. So it's 100 a year for individuals. Monthly billing. Okay, it's 10 euros a month, including taxes. It's 12. So yeah, it makes sense. So yeah, try it one. I've never used the student version, but 100% probably you can. Shemari said, at my college, my SQL class is on visual machines, and it's an yeah. Virtual machines are kind of slow, in my opinion, but yeah, you can. There's a ton of tools and IDs nowadays that you can use for SQL. So don't. Well, I don't know if it's a college role, um, but if it's not, just go with anything. Screw School Crusher for Life says lamp stand. Yeah, yeah, that's historical. um, lamp. Yeah, I remember downloading lamp with an Intel Core i0. If that's a JetBrains, then yes, it's in the student developer pack. Oh, okay, okay, I didn't know. So Juan, Shimmer just confirmed. You can use you can get it with the student developer pack. So that's great because data grip, in my opinion, I've used it. At the job because we have the package, and it's yeah, it's amazing. So go with it. But if you're a beginner, just try with small ones like the Azure, this one we're going to use today. But yeah, if you're just intermediate or want to do some big things or big queries or anything, definitely that's an option. I don't think I can get the pack anymore since I graduated in May. Oh, okay. Uh, that's oh, and that's a couple 3 months. Sorry to hear that. But well, keep positive. If you can just start a new degree and you can get the pack for free. So that would be great. Um, okay, say Juan, you better use it while you can. Yeah, yeah. Or maybe because sometimes when even if you graduate, you can keep the mail like for a while or something. Maybe you can just take a month extra or a couple of months. Um, Shemari, if you still have your that edu email, you might be able to. Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. Sometimes they keep it. We're taking 5 minutes to answer the questions because I see there's some questions, and we are going to. If you have any question, just pop in. Okay, so um, let's get them done. But yeah, just try it. If you're lucky, maybe you can get it a couple 3 months more. Think guys, I'll try give it a try. Okay, spicy taco. I assume you're Mexican too. For the name, spicy taco. Um, Mexicans. Do you eat hot food? But I didn't know it was that hot because I thought it was like spicy, little spicy. One time I went to a Mexican. Just as a small story, a quick story. Anyway, and the guy was like spicy, and I was like, okay, just a little bit. And I was okay, okay, and it was like the spiciest thing I've ever eaten. It was like I was just drinking because I was like, okay, it's poquito, poquito, okay, poquito in Spanish is a little bit. It was like, okay, poquito, poquito. Okay, it was not poquito. Some colleges use virtual machines to avoid you from having to install things yourself. Okay, but yeah, the proper way nowadays will be using Docker or something and use containers. But again, let's assume it's college and okay, they're some years behind sometimes. But okay, it's required for the class. Mm, okay, that makes sense then. Uh, also for screenshots to avoid people from cheating. Like, oh, okay. But for screenshots, maybe they can install another software. Maybe I don't know. What application were you using to connect to the database? Can you share the link? Oh yeah, sure. Uh, uh, we will be using Azure Data Studio. This one. Download. Okay, I'll get this link to you. There you have. There you have. You can just install it while we're asking some answering some questions. Yeah, from Yeah, horrible, horrible. I think I'll, I'll never eat spicy food in a Mexican restaurant. Never, because poquito for them is like just a bunch because they're used to it. Makes sense. It's in India. I think they eat spicy, but yeah, never more spicy in a Mexican restaurant because I know the levels. Um, I'm just from USA, but my parents are from Nayarit. Okay, that's great. That's great. Um, Hoping to see Mexico sometime. Could I just use Visual Studio Code for it instead? Yeah, I think there's an extension in Visual Studio Code. Okay, let's check it. Okay, let me just check to this. Maybe I can show you something. Let's see if there's. Yeah, I know there's an extension because I've used it for a while. Okay, so okay, this is another project doing some. This is cryptocurrency trading bot. So okay, so maybe if you're interested, maybe I can do we can do some workshop any day about this trading cryptocurrency trading bot. It works fine. So if you want to learn how to do it, just put it in the comments, and next time we'll be doing one. Studio and MySQL. Okay, so I think yeah, definitely you can do that. Okay, yeah, you can install this called MySQL, and you can connect to a database. For me, it looks familiar with this one. You know, where you have here like this servers and all that stuff. To me, it looks the same, but it's like more integrated into Visual Studio Code. But yeah, great point. Uh, MySQL, yeah, Shimari was just saying, uh, answering the question. Yeah, yeah. You can check other ones, but I will take the first one because it has more reviews and more downloads, so I assume it works better. Maybe they're manipulated, but like hell. Download after Data Studio and MySQL. Yeah. And okay, I will be doing the connection now. That's my yeah, of course. Yeah, Workbench. I've stopped using Workbench. Sometimes it just hang, you know, and it was just charging, running a query, or it was not actually running, and stopped using it because I don't know, it was kind of. But yeah, definitely, I've used it for a while, for the last couple of years, for my personal projects, and it works fine. It's great, but sometimes it's more, let's say, more advanced level, not advanced, but intermediate level, because there's a lot of things, a lot things to touch, a lot of places, so it might be confusing for beginners. But yeah, okay, let's pop into this. Okay, okay, this is okay. This is not okay. So first of all, once you installed um okay, let me just let me check if there's more questions. Uh, mm, mm, mm. Okay, no more questions. Great. If you have any more questions, just pop it, and I will take a couple of minutes to answer them. So, first of all, you need to make a connection. Normally, when you install MySQL, you have like this root user. Maybe you're used to it. Let me put this here. Okay, so you install MySQL and you have this. Maybe you saw this sometime. MySQL, what is called score. Yeah, underscore or yeah, just core. Let's call it core. MySQL score U core user and root user. Maybe you saw this sometime, and you put just this P for password, and it will ask for the password. Boom, and you're inside. Okay, so hyphen, hyphen. Okay, it's called hyphen. It's called hyphen. Okay. Thank you. So and here you have the you're inside. But okay, so when you install it, you can see the password of the MySQL it creates you. Okay, normally it's root or tour, like COOR, like root backwards. And sometimes it's root, sometimes it's I don't know, localhost or whatever. So you can check that, and if not, you can just reset it. Um, there's ways to reset the password, but normally it's root or tor, or when you are installing it, it will ask you for a password, and that's your password. Okay, so you can connect through database, but in this case, in case there's people, well, beginner people and people who because sometimes here it looks confusing. Okay, you don't know what you're doing. It's like all white, all just it's quicker, but it's not that intuitive. So we're not using this at all today. We're going to use this tool. Okay, so once you have all the MySQL installed, and you want to connect to your localhost database, you just go here, and you can find you can change the connection. In this case, use MySQL. Server name will be localhost. Okay, username will be root. The password in my case it's root2. Okay, and this will be, let's say, test localhost. Okay, password. Okay, so if I can okay, for connection. Okay, it says it's invalid, but it's connected. The session I return. Okay. The session ID returned. Let's see. What's wrong with it? Select, create database, test. Let's see if it executes. I have to check if it's connected. Can create database test. Okay, so it's creating the database. Okay. I don't know what's, maybe it's, okay, as you can see here, it's green. Basically, it's now connected. Okay, so here you can select the database you want to use. So for this example, what we're going to do is we're going to create a database. Okay, can you see the comments? Or let me just close this one. Okay, so we're connected to localhost with the root user. So what we're going to do is basically create tables. Okay, so it will be two tables. One of them will be books. Okay, one of them will be books, and the other one will be authors. Okay, so the authors will get all these authors IDs and authors names, and the books will have all the books related to the author. Okay, so we're going to create this database called bookstore, and with these tables, books, authors, and let's see what else we just wanted to add. And we will be adding some books related to the authors, just not to get all the name. And then we'll be just trying to search between the tables and make inner joins. Inner join basically is when you join two tables, get data from a table and another, and you just pop it into one, just to get the results from different. Okay, let's say for example you want to search, in the case of the e-commerce, sorry, you want to search specifically for X user, all the orders he made from this date to this date, just for this stock, and all that stuff. You can just make an inner join, get all this data from different tables, and just pop it into one, and you will get a table with user, the product, Okay, so I hope made it clear. Okay, so first of all, there's the create database command. Okay, this is the basic one, and it's basically create. You can make it capital or not. It will not differentiate. You can just create, but in this case, we'll be doing in capital letters because it will be more easy to identify when it's a string and when it's a command. Okay, create database bookstore. Okay, so in Visual Studio Code, to execute the command in this case and create, as you can see, we don't have the database bookstore. We have information schema. This is default. If you create a new MySQL database, you will just get this one, system, performance schema, and MySQL. Okay, this is just the test one we did before. Create database bookstore. Okay, to execute, in this case, if you have in this case, I have a keyboard, and there's F5. I'm using Mac, so in Windows, I think it's not control, but function F5 or anything. But if you don't know the how to execute the F5 command, you can just select and run. Okay, so here's the difference. If we select and we run, it will just run the selected query. Okay, if we just hit run or F5 and we didn't select anything, it will run all the file. Okay, why this is a great detail? Because sometimes maybe you're deleting something and you just put drop table. Drop stands for it's for deleting the table. We'll get into that later. You have drop table books. Okay, maybe you were just doing some tests, drop table, blah, 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 and you have data, and you just hit F5, it will execute all this. Okay, so it will create, well, in this case, it doesn't make sense because it just creates the database and drops the table. Nonsense. But if it does make sense and you have data and you just execute it, you will lose all the data. So keep that in mind. And if you have like a lot of select is used for to find data. Okay, we'll get into that in a while next. And if you have select blah blah blah, and then you have another select, okay, select blah 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 blah, and you have another select. There's no problem, because if you fail and you just execute them all, you will just get 4 tables here. But if you have deletes, truncate is to delete all to truncate the table. That's a problem. Okay, so let's say create database, and we want to execute this. If you're not, you can just hit run. Okay, and it will run. Command completed successfully. Okay, so now we created the database called bookstore. As you can see, here we have the database. We're going to use the bookstore. Okay, so now we're using database bookstore from localhost test. Well, this is false. Okay, because we're not using test. But maybe when we run again a command, it will change. Oh, okay. So I think this is database localhost. Database test. Okay, so I think it will change in a while. Let's see. And now use, okay, so if you're using, let's see this, use, okay, so this one will work in on the command. If you go to the command, okay, let's say p root root look y. Oh, okay, so it was in capital. Root. Okay. Okay, so let's say we're here. Show databases. Okay, it will show you all the different databases. In this case, we'll be using bookstore. Use database bookstore. Database changed. Okay, so this use is when you get all these different databases and you just want to use one. So right now we're inside bookstore. So if you do show tables, let's say we don't have any table yet, but it will show you all the tables from bookstore. Okay, so if you, let's say, use I don't know, sys, okay, database changed, show tables. Let's see if there's tables now. Okay, so now you're getting all these tables from sys. Okay, tables in sys. You have hosts summary. Let's see if there's something. We'll get into these commands later. Okay, don't worry. But select all from host summary. Okay, so it selects all this data from this table. I will just make it to see if we can get all the data here. Okay, so we have the local host. We have all the hosts. Okay, so this is the use command, what it's used for. In this case, it's not necessary because we can just, you know, change here all that, and that's fine. Okay, so now we want to create a table. Okay, a table called books, where we're going to sort all these books. How a table is created. Okay, so now we are in the database bookstore, inside the database. Okay, so the create table will be executed here. Well, not in this case, bookstore, use bookstore. Bookstore. Do you have any question? Okay, so now we're using bookstore. If you do show tables, there's nothing. Okay, so that's fine. Now we want to create a table. Okay, so for that we just use create table books. Okay, and now what we want to do here is just add all these different fields. Let's call it fields because they're fields. All these fields. Okay, so first of all, we need the book ID. Okay, do you remember the ID I was talking about before? You have post ID. It's a primary key because it will be unique. Okay, so keep in mind it's different. A primary key than, for example, because some people I've seen some projects in hackathons, for example, that people use as a primary key the username. Okay, because they say, okay, it should be unique. Okay, and username is something unique, not the name, but yes, the username or the nickname. Well, not nickname. The, let's say, yeah, the username. Okay, when you register somewhere and it says, oh, username taken, and you just like, okay, Neufel 3P 25. Okay, in this case, Neufel 79, because Neufel was taken. Okay, and some people use as a primary key the username. That's a huge mistake, because when you use a primary key, it's a primary key. You'll be using that key everywhere, like for the posts, for the follows. If you upload, in this case, pictures, if you make orders, you'll be using that everywhere. So and it should be immutable. But usernames, you can just go to Facebook or Meta. Well, yeah, it's Facebook, the website, or Instagram. And how many of you have changed their usernames? I've done. I've changed my Instagram username, for example, like 3 times in, I don't know, 10 years, but but it's 3 times. So every time a user changes his username, you have to change all these primary keys in all the tables, all the orders, all the comments, all the posts, all the followers, because you're using the primary key here as a followed user ID. Because if you have here, let's say the username, and you have I don't know, my old username, and you have Nelfal12, okay, let's say, here you have Nelfal12, Nelfal12, da 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 da. Okay, so let's say I changed my username to Nelfal79. So it doesn't make sense because right now I don't have followers because all these followers are for Nelfal12. Okay, so it should be immutable. First of all, immutable. It cannot change, and username changes. So a huge mistake. Don't do that. If you want to use primary keys, use unique ID. You will not change, never, and it will not be used for anyone else, even if the account is deleted. You don't want to use that because you have a lot of things related to that primary key that will just make a mess in your database if you just start putting comments from a deleted user into a new user with the same primary key. It doesn't make sense. But yeah, it's primary key because it's primary key and it will not be used again. Thank you. So please don't use usernames as a primary key. So the book ID will be this primary key I mentioned before. Okay, so it will be an integer. Okay, if you, I think you used some, because a lot of programming languages you don't have to specify the type, but yeah, you'll, if you don't know the types and you more data related, you've never done programming. Int stands for integer. There's booleans, true, false, bar charts, okay, strings. Well, sorry, bar charts is it's I'd say a string. And you have chars and you have doubles, all that data types. So right now, and now we have books ID will be an integer, and we specify it's a primary key. Okay, so this will be our primary key that we'll be using for, I don't know, if we just use this information everywhere, anywhere else. Sorry. Okay, so we have the book ID, we have the title. The title will be a bar chart, will be maximum, let's say 100 characters. Here you can specify. Okay, so don't put like 10 million because you say, okay, I just put 10 million and then use 30. No, please be responsible because that's in terms of memory use and performance, it will affect a lot. So if you know, just no, I don't know, let's say you have a field called phone number. Okay, phone number. You know, for example, I don't know, in Spain at least, it's nine characters. Okay, and let's say you have a phone number and you don't know how many characters. You can just search in Google largest phone number. Okay, so if the largest phone number on the world is like 25 characters, just put 25. No one will you have a phone number with 100 characters. So keep that in mind. You can find some external references on how many or how much. And we have the author ID. Okay, so this author ID will be a primary key in another table called author. Okay, so yeah, so we'll create another table called authors that will have an author ID. It's this one. Okay, so why are we using author ID and not author name and author city, for example? Because if you use just the author ID, then if we change data in the authors table, let's say the author just died, let's hope not, but just died, and say there's a field called active, and we switch active to 0 because it's inactive right now because it doesn't write anything because it can, because life. And in this case, we don't have to change anything because it will just get the author ID and just get all the table if we need it. But if you put here author name, well, you can search, do like an inner join, for example, and just connect this table to another and say, okay, if they have search for authors with the same author ID and blah blah blah, that's not the way it's supposed to be, at least in in relational database. Okay. 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 So we have the author ID. It will be primary key in another table. Genre. Okay. Bar chart. Okay. So genre, it's not, don't confuse it with gender. Okay, we don't care about the well, in this case we don't care about the gender of the author. Maybe in one case or another you want to know if it's male, female, non-binary, or anything. So let's say, for example, non-binary, you can add 3 fields: male, female, and non-binary. So it will be fine. I don't know what. Well, depends on your situation and what kind of application do you want and do you use, and if you need all this gender information or not. But in this case, we don't need it because it doesn't make a difference. The gender of the author. So the genre, let's say drama, okay, and let's say publication date. Okay, so this will be an integer. Well, not date because that will be date because it's another, but just not to deal with dates. Publication, let's say year, will be an integer. Oops. Okay. Okay. So sorry. It's okay. So we have the table right now. Okay. So now we created the table. Let's see if it works. Okay. So as I mentioned before, we just. Do you have any question? If you have any question, just put it on the comment section. We'll get into that soon. Create table books, and we can just execute this. Because if we try to create another database, it will just give us an error because can't create database bookstore. Database exists, obviously. So we just run this command, completed successfully. Okay, so let's see if this table exists. So how we select the data? You've probably seen this select. Okay. What happens if you don't specify the length of characters for title and genre? Is it inefficient? Probably. Maybe. Let's see. Okay, let's see. In this case, we can use drop database if exists. Okay, so this is basically what it does. If a database exists, it just deletes it. So now we don't have the database here. Okay, So let's use another one. Okay, create database, and let's delete this bar chart. F5. What's the problem right now? You have an error in SQL. Check the manual that corresponds, blah, blah, blah. Publication year ends line 5. Okay, they say it's line 5, but we know it's not line 5. So probably will not, it will crash. Okay, so it's necessary to put the general. Okay, let's try this way. Just drop if it exists. Okay, that was executed, so it will crash. Hope it answered the question. It's better sometimes to see it than to explain it. So database. Okay, so this command basically, as it suggests, drop table database if it exists. Okay, it's a basic. I think it doesn't need a description. It just basically checks if database exists, and if so, it just drops it. They use this drop the drop name, like, could be delete. Okay, so create database books. Okay, so now we create another table. Create table, let's say authors. Okay, so now we create. Okay, okay. We were going to check if select all the star asterisk stands for all from books. Okay, this what should do is select all the fields and all the values from this table. Run. Okay, as you can see, it selects. Okay, now we get the table, but there's no information. Book ID, title, author ID, genre, publication. Great. Okay, so this works fine. Now we create a table called authors with the author ID. As you remember, we just added here the author ID will be an int. So here it should be an int, and it's a primary key. We will be using it to identify the author. Primary key. Okay, so, and we have the author name. Say it will be a varchar. Again, let's say if it's a name, I think with 100 is more than sufficient. So you probably won't get an author with 3,000 characters, but yeah. And let's say we want to know the nationality of the author by chart. And here the same. Let's say what is the longest? What would you say is the longest country? Do you know? Like the in terms of characters. See, Bangladesh. Let's see. I don't know. Maybe it has 150, 70. Let's say 70. Okay, so nationality. So let's execute this and see if it creates the. Okay, so select all. Again, select all from books and select all from authors. Execute. Okay, now we have the if you execute two commands, you'll get both results. Okay, in different tables here. So that's great. To avoid this, later on we'll learn how to inner join, for example, these tables, and instead of the author ID, just get the author name here and just get the book ID, the author name, and the title. Okay, for example, because sometimes we don't want the author ID, we just want the nationality because we are just making a statistics on how to, I don't know, how many Indian, Spanish, or American um, authors there are in our database. So we'll be using that. But yeah, now we have both the both tables. If you okay, it gives an error here. But if we go, I don't know what it gives the same thing, but you show tables, show tables. Use bookstore. Show tables. Why? There's okay, maybe it needs to reload. Is there anything like enums in SQL? You can use variables. We will see that later on, and probably you can make some dictionaries, and it will be something like enums. I don't know if that's your question, but yeah, you can use variables. We will see that later today. Well, in the second part stream. So we can just check in, put it in your calendar, and we'll get into that. This one it was just for setup, explain a little bit, make some simple commands, make some information into the database, and later we'll check that. Okay, so right now we have we created the database bookstore, tables, bookstore, authors, and now we're going to create. Well, we're going to insert some information because there's no database without data because it's database. Thank you. So inserting data, it will be as simple as insert. Okay. You will find out it's simple commands. Well, some of them, the basic ones, are just insert, delete, create, table. It doesn't need explanation. If someone uh, hasn't done SQL before, can just see this and say, okay, creates a table called authors, and just some data types, fields. So in this case for insertion, it will be more or less the same. Insert into, okay, where are we going to insert this information? Into authors, okay, and what fields? Author ID. It was author name and nationality. Okay, nationality. Okay, so what values are we going to insert here? Values. The first one will be this. The second one will be Stephen King. Okay, let's see. It's an author and nationality English. Stephen King. Okay, so this what should do is it should insert this value in the authors database. Okay, so let's hope. Okay, now it's inserted. Let's select. You select all from authors. I'll be just hit F5, but you can use run. Okay. Okay, now we have the author ID, the name, and the nationality for this specific author. So here's the thing. As I mentioned before, the primary key should not be repeated. Never. Okay, so if we try to run this, for example, let's say it's Spanish, and the author is called Juan Armando. Let's say, I don't know if it exists, but let's say. If we try to run this again, it says duplicated entry 1 for key, authors that primary. Okay, so that means that we cannot use the same ID for the same primary key, the author ID. It cannot be the same for all the users. Okay, well, for more than one user. If you use 2, okay, let's say it's 2 F5. That's great. Let's select. Yep, author ID 1. This number here, well, not this, the author ID, this one here, is just a count of, well, the number of the row. So it's nothing, just as you didn't see in it. Author ID, author name. Okay, so let's say you want to insert a lot of data. Okay, so you want to insert just 30, say 5, 3, 5. Okay, so now we cannot use 2. We should use 3, say 4. You can use I don't know, as a primary key this. Okay, so let's say you have this identifier in your application and you want to use it as a primary key. You can use it. I'm using numbers just to make it clear. 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, let's look for some authors, author names, and author names and generate. Okay, let's use this. Happy Schultz. Some of them. Yes. If you, okay, so we're going to use as an authors, people from the chat. Okay, great. Now, can we use this table to fetch and insert data from our website? Yeah. So basically, what? Okay. So yeah, of course. That will be made with. Well, if you want to make it like more scalable and more cleaner, cleaner, not more cleaner. Sorry. You have to use an API. Okay, so you have an API. You have the front end of your page. You create an API. I've done stream last month in the last Global Hack Week about how to make a basic API to use it to fetch to insert and fetch data from the database. So you have your front end. Now you just have the front end and you have the back end. So the back end will be an API that connects to the database, and then you can use JavaScript on your website. Okay, so you have a website, great design, spectacular, and you use JavaScript just to get to make a request to the API and say, okay, you go to this endpoint and get data from this author, okay, from this book, and we'll just get all these data from different websites. From different tables in your database, and you just get this information. And yeah, for insertion is the same. You can create an endpoint that you give it the data, and it will just insert that in the database. Just create a connection, a database. If you're more interested on how to int instead of normally trying a different key, could you use random int instead of manually typing a different key? Yeah, in this case you have to do this. You can do this. There's something called auto incremental. Okay, so it's auto incremental, and that allows you to set it, the auto incremental one. Okay, personality not null, auto incremental, and this one you don't have to put manually like 1, 2, 3, 4. It just puts automatically. Okay, so this, if we had an auto incremental, it will look like this. Okay, not null, can be empty. And if you have this primary key as an auto incremental, not null, blah blah blah, you just have to put the author name, nationality, and it will just keep going up 1, 2, 3 in order. Okay, so yeah, that's. But I want to use it to do it like this for this let's call it tutorial or demo, just for you to see the difference of what happens if you put the same one, how to make it, or you can just create an ID from your application, and you just put some random. Let's say, for example, you have orders, okay, and you always have an order ID. You can generate that like with generation function or anything. Oh, sorry. I see. I'm just hiding this table. Sorry. How can I put this? Oh, okay. Sorry. I was hiding some data. So yeah, spicy taco. You can use the auto incremental and don't take care of all these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, hope it answered the question. Wouldn't it be more efficient to use PostgreSQL database or something like that? Yeah, that makes sense. If it's not that large, you don't have a large structure, large model, you can use that or SQLite. But yeah, in this case, just let's assume you can have the principles to make a kind of intermediate big data structure. So now we have the authors. Okay, so give me some author's name or your names, and just add some different authors. So okay, any difference you observe to use SQL better in programmatic way than use a GUI for it? I would say speed, but if you just want to insert some data and fetch, get some data with select or anything, the difference is very small because in this case, okay, height. Okay, so let's say where's the command line? Okay, so as you can see that there's no style here. It's just connected to the database, and you just get the data. But for 0.01 second and 0.5 second, yeah, it will not get the difference. Okay, so let me get to another question that gets to the same question. So if school is asking, what does this question mean? I think Rajdip Siki. Sorry if I'm. You have some random names. I love it. Um, okay, so I think what he was asking if it's better to use to make connections and insertions here than here. Okay, so if I see some performance, if I see some difference, the only difference if it's not that large scale, even if in large scale, because companies use GUIs, but obviously if you're connected into a server, okay, you're not going to install Visual Studio Azure in a server. When you're connected, for example, in a server, you just get a command line and you have to do everything here. So if you want to check something on the database on a server like in Amazon or Google Cloud or anything, you're not getting like just install it. Maybe you do, but normally you don't have this GUI. So you just connect through SSH or the MySQL or anything. Just do whatever you want to do and just get out. So yeah, I think that was the question. Okay, so hope. Yeah, I get it now. Okay, great. Thank you. Thanks for asking, because maybe someone else has the same question, but they don't know how to ask it, or they, just say, okay, just I'll ask it later, and they forget. Okay, genre name. Um, okay, let's put uh, some different authors here. Okay, nano tubular, nano tubular. Okay, Maihunyan. I'm just putting your names here as an authors. Just Maihun. Yeah. Where are you from? Maihunyan. Let's say I don't know. Just make, and it was cool. Okay. Table. Cool. Okay. My okay from is Indian. Yeah, I made it. Yeah, you did it. Okay. XX XX spicy. XX spicy taco. I'll be in San Francisco in a month. Uh, Hope I can get to Tijuana uh, by car and eat some tacos there. Um, so yeah, spicy tacos is, yeah, it was Mexican. And Rad okay, Rad Rajdi, sorry for the pronunciation. Rajdi Teki. Okay, India. India. It was cool. It was cool. It's where are you from? India? You were from India, I think. Uh, I Nanotubular. Let's say, okay, let's make it Canadian from Alaska. Yeah, just okay from Alaska. Okay, so let's. Okay, it was cool is Indian. Okay, I get it. I think I remember you from other streams. So great job. Yeah, I think keep learning. That's great to see. Okay, so we just execute this, and oh, syntax for main Huangyan. Okay, so there's commas missing here. Okay, now it should work. Okay, okay. Now we just execute authors. Hey, you're here. Tijuana is kinda far from San Fran. San Fran. Are you from San Fran? Oh yeah, oh San Francisco. You mean? Oh okay, yeah. It's what's it called? I have the flight to San Francisco, but I'll be going by car to Los Angeles and to probably to Tijuana. Well, not Tijuana, San Diego, but I'll just park the car and go walking to Tijuana to take some tacos and burn my lunch with the spicy and just go back to San Francisco. Um, okay, select all from authors, and we have all the authors. Okay, these two were the first ones we introduced, and uh, okay, that we introduced Nano, and here we have our great folks. Tijuana is super close to San Diego. Have a great time. Thank you so much, Shemari. Um, well, I know it's close, but it's a rented car, so I don't know if I can go through the border. I think I can with some insurance. They have some insurance policy, or and I don't know if you pay extra, you can go everywhere. So maybe they have an allowance policy for these cases. Select all from authors. Okay, so now we have the authors table and 123 miles. That's in kilometers, like 200 maybe 200 kilometers. Couple of hours. That should not be that far. LA to San Diego. Yeah, it's a couple of hours, I think. Okay, so now we have our authors list, and if we do select all from, say, books, from books, we'll have no results here probably because we didn't insert anything. So yeah, now what we're going to do is do the same process of insertion, but instead of authors, for books. Okay, so insert into books. Let's see what fields we have here. Books, book ID, title, book ID, title, author ID, book ID. Okay, book ID, title, author ID, genre, publication year. Okay, just make it author. Okay, genre, publication year. Okay, insert. Okay, here we have values. Okay, so now we have to insert the book ID will be let's say, yeah, just make them in order. Use an int. Okay, an int, primary key. So it should be unique and an integer. Okay. Book ID. The title will be I don't know, just tell me introduction to SQL. Okay, let's make them author ID. The author has to do something. It has to do with this table. So it must be the primary key of the author in the author's table. In this case, let's say, I don't know, Spicy Taco just wrote this book. Okay, so 6, and the publication year will be 2012. Okay, so there we have blah blah. Okay, okay, so we have Spicy Tacos wrote this book, and we're going to make some other examples. This will be 2. Remember, you can use the auto incremental and do it manually. Here, genre. Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah. Great. I see. You're focused. I like that. So yeah, we have the book ID, the title, the author ID. So it's missing the genre. Great. If it's, you should, let's say, this one is programming. Okay, introduction to Java. This one will be drama. Okay, if you did Java, this is a drama book. Okay, introduction. I don't know. Let's say machine learning principles. Okay, this will be, this also is programming too. Let's say that data principles. Let's say GitHub. GitHub will be, say, software. Okay, you can form. I think there's so way. Okay, no. There's. Okay, this is a great. This is a great one. Okay. Now. Okay. Um. Okay. Where to find the best tacos in Tijuana? This will be from Spicy, and let's do another one. 6. Who was from India? Shemeri. Evo School. Evo School from India, right? Let's try this one. 5. Okay, this is 5. 2022. How to die from spicy spicy food. Okay, Indians are, I think, the Mexicans are like the kings of spicy food. How to die from spicy food? I have the answer. Okay, so this one is from Evo School. Thank you. Um, and we have where to find the best tacos in Tijuana. GitHub. This will be Rash Tiki. You look like a GitHub guy. Um, well, folk. Uh, with these names, it's kind of confusing. GitHub 7. Okay, so let's say mine mine Huingyang will be number 4. Machine learning principles. Thank you for teaching us. Introduction to Java. 3. Nanotubular. You want to kill us, but no worries. We love you. So we have and the other authors were 1 and 2, right? So let's make this number 1. Okay, 1, 3, 4, 7, 6, 5. Okay, let's try this. This should work. Okay, let's change the years. 2020, 2005, and 2023. Okay, so let's run this, and this should work. It should work. And it doesn't work. Okay, introduction to Java. Syntax. Let's see what's wrong here. Publication year, integer, genre, bar chart, author ID. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 4. Where's the 3? Introduction to Java. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Genres. Command line 28. I think. Oh, okay. Great. Thank you. Let's execute it. Okay. Column count doesn't match values count at row 5. What that means? Okay, let's see what we have. First of all, maybe. Okay, we don't have anything. Add more genres. Dates. Oh, okay. Yeah. So there's thank you. You're here and here. Software. So it must be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Data. Drama. Software. Okay. This is food, and this will be food. Okay. Great. Thank you. Okay, execute it. No errors. Let's execute them both. Let's see what we have. Okay, great. Now we have the authors, okay, and the books. Okay, so is the book ID. This should be immutable. In this case, it's the same one as the row ID because it's just in order, and we started with the first one. But let's say, for example, if we delete this, it will just stop making sense because it will be line 7 primary key 8. So it will be 6678. Okay, so as long as we don't delete anything and it's just imperfect syntax, it will just keep this. And the book ID 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Introduction to SQL, blah blah blah. We have the author ID. It will be this one. Okay, 7. It's this author. 5. It's Evo School. 4 is Mahungian. Sorry, and it's related. Spicy, mixing, off topic. Shimmery is spicy and hot the same thing. Good question. Good question. Spicy. I've always called it spicy, but let's see shimmery. What Mary? What he or she or I don't know have to tell us. Okay, so this is the first part. We got our tables. We got our data inserted into the tables. Can be coffee is hot but not spicy. Okay, that's a good answer actually. Nothing to say there. Okay, so now we have all the data in the database. So in the next tutorial or session, it will be today at 7 p.m. in Spain. In like I don't know, it's 11 hours. We will be making some other type of insertions and how to make searches and how to make inner joins between the tables and all that stuff. So hey, hi folk, Geoffrey, asking awful about spicy. No, please don't. But yeah, well, I still eat spicy, but just a little bit. Okay, so great. So this is my joints, my favorite topic. Joints. Okay, so today we in some hours we will get into joints and to see how we can just mix all these data and create great tables just to analyze data. And yeah, hope to see you there. Okay, so hope you had fun. Hope you learned something with this. Hope you laughed. And yeah, if you have any question, just ask me on Discord. I'm on Discord with the same username, Nelfal79. You can just ask me whatever you want. Okay, just send me a message. Yeah. Thank you, Mary. And hope to see you later. Don't be late. I'll be waiting for you. Okay, thank you so much. Hope you had fun. And thank you, Spicy Taco. Hi, Hunyan. Hope to see you. I remember your names, so hope to see you later. If you're late, or I will send you a Discord. Eli green roasted chilies. Is that too spicy? I don't know. Maybe our Mexican friends can help us in this topic because I don't want to know anything about more spicy chilies. Yeah, when is next session from you? It will be today. The second part for SQL. We'll be making some joins and getting some data from different tables, and let's try to add like a bunch of books. Get a list and just add like 300 books and just play with the data and the authors, and just get specific genre books from specific authors from specific years and ranges, and how to count. Let's do something like that today. This was just to set up the database to show you how to make some create the tables, the database, how to insert the data. But yeah, in some hours, you'll get more on this base. We'll try nanotubular. I think he's talking about the spicy roasted chili. It was cool. Thank you for being here. I don't know what time is it in India, but here in Spain it's right now 7:45 a.m. So yeah, great first experience. Do we get points on attending every session like this? I think I'm not the person who can help you in this, but you can definitely ask in the Discord. The team will answer you better than me. Shimmery, can you use an API to fetch that info from Goodreads or something similar? Okay, let's do that. Let's create uh, later an API Goodreads. Okay, I will just save that. Goodreads. Let's see. Later we will check if they have an API, and we will try to use it to get. Okay, so actually we can use the API from Goodreads if they have one, and just insert all this data into the database from the API. Just get the data, insert into the database, and then use it. Great idea. I like it. Let's try it. Why not? 10:30 p.m. East is the next stream. Yeah, I think I don't know East, but I know in Spain. In Spain, it will be at 7 p.m. So it's 11 a.m. You can I can share with you the link. Let me check. Probably can show you the link. Oops, this is not. You can check in. Let me check. Let me check. I will show you with the session. Let me see. It will be this one. Okay, this will be the second part. Will be this one. Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Okay. I just got disconnected. Hope you can hear me again. Yeah. I just put Mary. Mary. Thank you for putting the check-in link. You can check in and see you. Hope to see you later. Okay. So here, people from. Great to see people from so many places. That's great. Uh, uh, um, on GRT, almost 1 a.m. here Central. Oh, okay. That'll be late. Or Goodreads no longer. No. Okay. So we'll try to get it from different sources. Okay. So again, thank you so much. If you have any question, don't hesitate to write to me on Discord. If you have more general issues or you need more data for this week, you can just ask one of the great team, MLH team, or just answer you as soon as possible. So thank you so much for being here. See you today again at 7 p.m. in Spain. Make sure you check in here. You check into the second part, and see you. Thank you so much. And if you didn't check in to this one, to the current one, just go and check in. It's okay. It's this one. This is the today event, and this is the this afternoon. Well, afternoon in Spain. So have fun. Thank you so much. Hope you had a great time, and see you. Have a great time.